Hey guys, welcome back to Horton's Flower Farm. If you don't already know me, my name is Claudette. I own and operate a Upick flower farm in Zone 7B, Long Island, New York. So today, this week on the farm, I just want to show you really what a Upick flower farm is all about and tell you how it works and tell you how much money I make in a weekend on a Upick flower farm. So the first thing my customers see when they walk in is my little picket fence. I wanted a white picket fence. I thought it'd be so cute and charming when my customers walk in. So they walk into my entrance here and they come right over here to where I sit and I take basically their orders of what they want to get. So basically what I offer are mason jars in two sizes. I offer an adult size, which is this size. It is $30 for 20 stems. And then the kid size is this size, and it's $25 for 15 stems. I let them borrow scissors, just like this, so they can cut their bouquets, and they return them when they're finished. Once they get their mason jar and they pay me, we come over here to my outdoor sink. So this is my outdoor sink right here, and I have a cute little potting bench that I made, a vintage potting bench. It's really cute. And they basically just fill up their mason jar with water and they get going. So once they do that, they walk over to the flowers. Okay, so once my customers get here, all of my rows are labeled with what kind of flower it is. So I have zinnias, ageratum, I have celosia in this row, I have rudbeckia back there, I have more celosia and rudbeckia. This row is snapdragons, salvia, and status. This next row is marigolds, and I have different varieties. This is white swan. I have the African giants, and I think I have starfire, which is a small mix from a little tinier one. This is gomphrena and verbena. And then down here I have two more rows of zinnias that I succession planted out. And then this row here are dahlias and sunflowers. In the back of my garden, of my farm, I have a cottage garden, which is not for cutting, it's just for sitting and looking and enjoying. So my customers come out here and they can cut anything they want for their 15 or 20 stems. I usually do show them where to cut on the stem. So if you're wondering how many rows I have on my Upick flower farm, I have 7 rows of 100 feet long and 4 rows of 200 feet long. So it's a lot of flowers. So for example, I'm going to let you know how many I plant per row, how many plants I can get in. My bed is roughly 3 to 3.5 feet wide. And in this row of zinnias, there's probably 400 plants. So 400 baby plugs went into this row to grow all of these flowers. So typically zinnias, they tell you to space about 12 to 18 inches apart. In this row, I have them spaced about 8 inches apart, a little bit tighter, just so I can get the maximum amount of flowers in this row. So it works out really well. So for example, this row is 2 plug trays that I ordered from Farmer Bailey's. So the cost on this, for something like this on the plug trays, is probably about $50, $60 per tray. So this row cost me about $120, and with shipping probably another $30 with tax, so probably $175 if I was ordering this from plugs. Now you might be wondering why I order zinnias, the easiest to grow flower, from plugs for my Upick flower farm. There is a reason. See all of these beautiful blooms? They were from plugs. The advantage with plugs is that you get a head start on the season. So I'm going to show you the row that was not planted from plugs, the row that was directly seeded. And even though farmers say if it's directly seeded, it will catch up, it is not ready even close to what this row looks like. So if I were just to plant my zinnias and direct seed them, I would still not have a focal flower to put in people's bouquets right now. So let me show you why ordering from plugs and getting a head start is really good for my Upick flower farm. All right guys, so these 2 rows are directly seeded zinnias. Now the problem, as you can see here, is there's not a lot of flowers on them. they took a lot longer to get going. So the plugs gave me a real head start on the season. And this is a succession planting, so when those are starting to not look so good, these will look perfect. So plugs give me that perfect succession planting on my Upick flower farm. Okay, so let me show you how I do sunflowers on my Upick flower farm. So I have about 6 succession plantings of sunflowers on my Upick flower farm. I planted them every 2 weeks, about 300 sunflowers, which is more than enough for customers to pick off of. I usually have a ton of extra sunflowers. I usually cut them for myself. So that's how the sunflowers work. So all the watering done on my Upick flower farm is done by drip tape. Drip tape is better for the plants because it gets less disease and less powdery mildew because it's not on the leaves. So my Upick flower farm is an hour away from my house. We don't live on the property. So how is it watered is that it's watered on a system. It knows when to water every day. And then we weekly put the fertilizer into the drip tank itself. So we fertilize once a week, and that's taken care of. So that's how the system works for watering and fertilizing. One of my biggest problems on my flower farm are weeds. A couple weeks ago, this farm was overrun with weeds, and it was before my farm opened. So this year I hired somebody to help me to weed the entire farm, all of the rows, and they did it for many, many hours, and it did cost me around $650. I had a dream this year for a weed-free flower farm, and I was willing to invest for it because last year the flowers didn't grow as big as they needed to. So it's looking beautiful, and the weeds have stayed back for this month so far. I'm not seeing a lot of weeds coming back, so that's really good. Yes, these are hard to cut with the scissors. These are tough ones. Those are marigolds. And this one's called a white swan, actually, this part. So people ask me, do I have a lot of trouble with kids on the farm and wasting flowers? And everybody's super respectful. The parents, show them where to cut. So there's not a lot of wasted flowers. So it's really good that way. You can see that I have a lot of flowers here. So for example, I had, probably 15 people today cutting, and it looks like nothing was even touched. So I'm going to go over with you the potential amount of money I could make on my Upick flower farm, which is about an acre, if people were cutting off of every single stem. The potential here is very high to make a lot of money. The hard part is marketing and getting people in the door to pick these beautiful flowers, because isn't that always a problem to get the customers in the door? It's a very unique experience. Hey everybody, so I'm back at my house and I have my little harvest that I did, and I just wanted to finish off this video by talking about some numbers about a Upick flower farm and if it is profitable and how it can be profitable. So I'll just give you a little inside knowledge about how much it is to run my farm. So this year my farm costs were about $15,000. So each year it's between $15,000 to $20,000, and you may think, what are you spending that on? But I broke it down last night, and that's not even investing in anything special. That's basically just paying for the rent of the property, all the flowers, insurances. It's adding nothing else onto the farm. I did a cottage garden this year, and yes, that was a $2,500 extra, but without that expense and spending on everything I need to spend on, it's about $15,000 to $20,000 investment each year. So I broke down some numbers. So for example, if I had 5 people, so my farm is open on Saturdays and Sundays only. It's open for 4 hours each day. So if I had 5 customers each hour spending roughly $28 per bouquet, I would be making $560 for the day and $1,100 for the week. Now adding in, if there's rain on a weekend day or two, and I did that for 12 weeks, I would make $13,000. So basically I wouldn't even cover costs and I wouldn't profit. Last year I only made $6,000, but it was my first year. This year I was hoping to make more, but the first 2 weekends are not looking like it's going to I hope that it will meet at least $6,000 of last year, unless something happens differently. We're advertising a lot. I spent a lot extra on advertising this year. So can I be profitable? Yes, I can be profitable. How? So if I sell around 40 bouquets, which that's how much it was to make $13,000 for the year. That's what I would make. Now, I have the potential on my farm to sell 300 bouquets per week. I have a ton of flowers. How much money would I make if I was selling 300 bouquets a week? I would make $100,000 and my profit would stand to be around $80,000 before taxes. That's a lot of money. 300 bouquets is also a lot of bouquets. It all is based on getting people to the farm. So can a Upick flower farm be profitable? Yes. Some people have said you should probably sell at wholesale, and I am looking into that to get some of my product out there. So, it's just basically growing the business. This is year 2. They usually say by like year 5, you'll be a lot bigger, but I just watched Ian and Serena's video and they're at year 5 and they're still struggling at their year 5 to make the profit that they want to make. So my idea, which I might be doing, is to going into doing some wedding flowers, and specifically not arranging right now, but doing do-it-yourself wedding flowers. I have contacted wholesalers in the area, and I might do that in the off season just to supplement in. I'm not making money in the winter, so I might do that. Though if I'm doing that, I'm going to be adding to this video. I'll show you how I'll be doing that. But for now, I'm hoping this year that I at least make hopefully $6,000, the same as last year. Otherwise, I'll be pretty upset. I spent a lot on marketing, so I'm hoping that I at least make $10,000, and there'll be just a little bit of a loss. But I guess that's how it goes. Flower farming can be very profitable, but most of the time, this is kind of where you're stuck, is just trying to grow the business and figure it out. So this is what a Upick flower farm is. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.